Should you be taking weight loss drugs? This might be something you're asking yourself. And in this video, I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's your decision. I am going to share one woman's experience of taking weight loss drugs, and with her permission, without giving her name for confidentiality purposes. And then with this information, you might have a little bit more ability to make the decision for yourself. So I'm Georgina Clark. I'm a health coach. And I work with predominantly women, sometimes men, on achieving sustainable weight loss and healthy habits. So I was able to hear a first-hand experience of a woman who had gained a lot of weight due to circumstances, menopause being one. So as women, we are more likely to store fat on our body as we get older through menopause because of our hormones changing. And we're also more likely to lose muscle. Our bones are not as dense. And so there's a lot to consider as we're kind of nearing 40 and going into our 40s and 50s, for women especially, of how we really need to take care of our health. And this woman's experience was she had some personal experiences that caused a lot of stress through work and other things. And she had started to eat more takeout, not take care of herself, exercise less. She also had some injury, so it made exercising harder. And she gained quite a lot of weight. And so when she found out about weight loss drugs, she was obviously intrigued and she did a lot of research. Now, weight loss drugs, you've probably heard of Ozempic, or Mounjaro is the other one that's quite popular. So what they do is they mimic a hormone. And it's a GLP-1 hormone. It stands for glycogen-like peptide 1. And what this hormone does is it reduces our appetite and it makes us feel full quicker. So the drug, we inject it, I think it needs to be injected once a month, and it reduces a person's appetite. And when you don't have an appetite, obviously you're going to eat a lot less. So this woman was able to lose 10 kilograms over the course of 6 months. And her symptoms, she didn't have many symptoms. So the symptoms that are commonly listed are nausea, stomach cramps, fatigue. Other things can occur as well, but these are the common ones. Now for her, she didn't get any of the cramps or nausea, but she did have extreme fatigue to the point where she was having to take a 1 or 2 hour nap every single day. And she didn't have any motivation to exercise because she was so tired, which makes sense. And she had no food noise anymore. So this is one of the positive side effects that people talk about. If you have a bit of an obsession with food, if you've been dieting on and off for a long time like I used to, you have all this food noise in your head where you're constantly thinking about what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat. And she said in her experience that completely went away, it just evaporated. But even to the point that then she wasn't getting any pleasure from food. And she was even forgetting to prepare food for her kids because she just wasn't thinking about food. So that's kind of incredible. That's hormone suppressing appetite. You just stop thinking about food altogether. So this is of course a positive, and it can also be a negative. And I'm sharing all this with no clear opinion on what someone should do. My role as a coach is to not tell anyone what to do. My role as a coach is to ask questions and help a person get to the bottom of what's best for them. And of course, because I'm studying nutrition, I can offer advice on how to balance a meal and the foods that are good to eat, but I wouldn't ever tell someone what to do, what to eat, whether they should take a weight loss injection or not. I am just simply sharing an experience of something I heard firsthand and her experience of it, and in case that you haven't heard one before, and then you can make your own decision and you can do more research. So for her, the lack of food noise was good and also a bad thing, because she's just stopped having any enjoyment from food, and before that she had got enjoyment from food. And let's be honest, a lot of us want to have enjoyment from food. So she no longer enjoyed social engagements with, well, where eating was involved, because she just didn't want to eat, and she had to kind of force herself to eat. And when she did eat, she was careful to eat balanced meals and get lots of nutrients, because she was aware that she wasn't eating very much. So she lost this 10 kg. But what also happened, which I think is quite scary for a woman who's menopausal, is that she lost 6 kilograms of muscle. So muscle that was on her body protecting her bones, 6 kilograms of that was gone. So she lost 10 kg of fat, but 6 kg of muscle. That's quite a lot of muscle, and no wonder, because she wasn't exercising, she didn't want to move, she just wanted to nap a lot. So it really makes sense why this happened, and the body wasn't only eating the fat stores, it was eating the muscle stores. And as I said, having muscle in your body is incredibly vital as we get older, for men or women, but especially women, because we naturally start to lose muscle anyway at a higher rate because of our estrogen and progesterone levels dropping. So this was her experience. She was encouraged to go from a 2.5 milligram dose up to a 5 milligram dose. And this was all done online, even though she used a pharmacy that's well known. It was all online. She didn't get to have a real conversation with a real medical professional. She didn't have anyone guiding her on how to balance her meals or how to still get exercise in or anything like that. So she was trying her best to be supported, but not getting supported. And in the end, she decided that she didn't want to be pushed to keep taking 5 milligrams. So she decided to taper off. Now, the reason I believe that people are encouraged to take more is what happens is after a while, there's a plateau and you stop losing as much weight. And this is because the appetite isn't as suppressed from the amount. So you have to take a higher dose to get the same suppressed appetite. She didn't want to keep doing that, so she came off. Now, what happened when she came off is obviously your appetite comes back, because the only reason that it's been suppressed is because of the drug you're taking. So you stop taking the drug, and within a few weeks, it's out of your system, and your appetite comes back. That's why you have to take a shot every few weeks or month. So, of course, when her appetite came back, she started eating more naturally, and she had more energy, which is great. But then she gained back half of the weight that she'd lost. So that was her outcome. And then it stabilized before she gained it all back. So she managed to stabilize it. And the way she stabilized it was then doing the work to understand nutrition, exercising, and now her focus is building back that muscle she lost, because she sees that that really wasn't a healthy thing that happened. So her experience is one, it's a mix, you know, she doesn't regret her decision to do it because it did start some weight loss, but she does regret that she didn't have the information on how to retain muscle, on how to make sure she was still getting all the nutrients that she needed, even though she had a suppressed appetite, and that she didn't have someone to support her through the process. It was just all done via email, being posted to her. And this was through an official pharmacy. And it's worth noting that many of the weight loss injection drugs out there are not actually licensed to be sold in Europe and the UK, because they haven't reached the standards yet. And she was doing this through a real licensed company that was supposed to be supportive, and yet she still didn't feel supported. And many people have mirrored that experience. And she was able to go on it because she was overweight and because she had inflammation. And so it was medically approved. Whereas I know of people that are using this drug who do not have type 2 diabetes or obesity, or they have not been medically told that it's a good idea for them. They are using it purely to lose weight. And I know people that are my size that are using it to be even slimmer, which for me is just so devastating and tragic, because it's just not healthy at that point. You do not need to lose weight. If you know, this drug has been made to save lives for people that have type 2 diabetes or they're obese. And for people to feel like they need to use it just to be slimmer is really sad. And it's a sad state of our society that we're still idolizing the skinny, twiggy models that we used to 2 decades ago. So ultimately it's about making an informed decision for you. I'm not here to tell you what's best. I just wanted to share this experience because I think it can be so helpful. And we've got celebrities advertising this drug who they're celebrities that don't actually need to be on it. And I think it's a bit scary that we're glamorizing the skinny side again. I grew up in that era where very skinny supermodels were idolized, and I'm not judging anyone for making the decision to take weight loss drugs, even if it is just to be slimmer, because back then weight loss drugs weren't available 20 years ago, but slimming pills were, and I got some and I took them, and it suppressed my appetite. I don't know what was in them. I dread to think. But it also caused me insomnia. And then from insomnia, I got diagnosed with depression and given antidepressants. I actually chose not to take them because I was ironically working for the National Health Service as a psychology support worker at the time in mental health, leading groups for people with depression and anxiety using cognitive behavioral therapy. So I could clearly see that my depression was caused by my lack of sleep, and what I needed to do was to stop taking the drugs and to go into a sleep hygiene clinic and figure out my sleep. So I share that just to say that I don't have judgment for people who really want to be slimmer, who are taking these just for that aspect and not considering their health, because I've made decisions like that in the past when I was also obsessed with being slim and had no control over my food. What I do want to share is that I can sit before you today saying that you can get to a place where you feel peaceful and balanced with your relationship with food and your body, and it doesn't have to go down a route of taking a weight loss pill or injection. You can get to that point through the way that you think about yourself, you care about yourself, your habits, and moving and doing things in a way that really support and respect your body. And it's up to you what you decide, but I would like to share that I am here to be able to offer that support to you if you decide to take weight loss drugs or if you decide not to. I work with clients that take them or don't take them, but my approach is that we work together to create a sustainable way for you to be the healthiest version of yourself that fits into your schedule, that brings you more peace. I think that's ultimately what we want to feel. We want to feel peace around our relationship to our body and with food, and make it easy for us to be healthy, and so that we still get to have a lot of enjoyment in life, because we are here one time only and we should get to enjoy it, and we shouldn't have to be obsessed about being slim or obsessing over what we're eating or feeling like we have no control over the amount we're eating, and that the only way we can control it is to take an injection. And that isn't true. There are other ways. So I hope this video has been informative for you. Like I said, I'm not here to make any decision for you, and I don't know what's best for you. That's for you to figure out. But if you would like help figuring that out and being a healthier version of you, then I am here, and I will share my booking link below, and you can book a free 20-minute call with me, and we can just go from there. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.